going to show you just a little something I learned a long time ago that doesn't seem like a big thing, but when I learned it, I was so happy. For some of you, it might not be a new thing, but for some of you, it might be. A couple of videos ago, I showed a little thank you gift I received from one of the Etsy shop owners that I shared her shop, and I was tickled with everything I ordered from her shop before, but I'm excited to have this. I kind of made my own template out of other things kind of like this before, but I was happy to have this one. It's really sturdy. This right here is like for a mail slot, so you can see if your envelope is the thickness just for regular first class mail. So I'm not going to use that so much as I'm going to show you this tonight. So with all of that being said, I'm a big fan of using what you have, not having to spend a lot of money. For me, it's like, how creative can I be with what I have sitting around? So when I want to cover an ATC, and that's what this size is, but you can cut your own template for a tag size, or even if you're doing a page or a pocket, that kind of thing, you can cut this out in the size that you need and do the same technique. I'm just going to refer to tag while I'm showing you this right now, because that's the size I have right here. So when you're looking around the house and you're trying to find what you can use for a background to help with your tag or on your page, or if you're doing collage, things like that, this helps me a lot when I'm doing a collage, just to see how big something is, what it really looks like on a page. So when you look at a picture, I have this book. It is so fun, and I've cut it up a lot, but I wanted to use it as an example. You can see a whole picture here, and there's a lot going on here, but I want to make a tag. So let me see what looks the best in the frame. Where do I want to cut that out? So if you put this down, your little template, I'm sorry I bumped the camera, it takes out all of the noise and all of the other background, and then you can just pick your picture. So I could glue this down on my ATC card, and that would be super cute, and then I could just put a little phrase or a little quote or something like that on there. That would be really cute. I could go over here, depending on, you know, the type of tag that I'm making. You can even make it like this. So for me, I love the way it just cuts out everything else, and your mind can just see what would exactly show on the card that you have. So if I don't want the person up there on the top, hold on, let me see if I can zoom in, see if that helps a little bit. So there's the person standing here, so I might not want him, but I love all these things. I could scoot it over just a little bit, or, you know, just to see what you could grab out of there. So that's just one example. What I really like to use it on is, you know, we all get these magazines in the mail, or at least I do. So I like to look at them, go through. I like to cut out characters, things like that, use them in collage or my art journal. But if you look at them, you just see ads for different things, and this one happens to be throws. But if you take your square here, and then look how cute that would be. So you can't grab every bit of it, but you could center it where it looks super cute. So you could put that on an ATC card. That would be really cute. Also put little phrases or something like that on there. So here, I like to do these. You can just grab textures. So you could put this down in the background and then build on top of that. On this side, it's just a bunch of throws again. Let's see if I can get this in the light without a glare. So there's different types of throws. So you could just go around the page. So Betty Boop doesn't really work because you get a lot of the writing, but it could if you were doing a Betty Boop card. And then you could just cover this with like a little quote or something like that. This one here, it's big, like it's a big throw, sorry. And if you put your template down here, now you can get the whole prayer, and you have not a blanket, but you have the background for an ATC card, which I think is really pretty. So it just helps you kind of go around, sorry, I keep bumping the page, and see things differently without having to either have acrylics and paint your own background or find pictures, you know, things like that. Then you have things just right here in front of you, and sometimes they're really pretty patterns, things like that you want to put on there. Maybe you just want to do half your card with it, something like that. So I love how it just helps you get a whole different view of everything. This one here it's just curtains, blinds, shades, things like that. But what I do love about it is that you can go in here, and here I already have a background. That's pretty with the light in the background. Or here, this is really pretty. So here you could have with the shades and little plant here, and a real pretty quote on there, and you have a really pretty tag or ATC, that type of thing. Here you can have just the chair, just cut out all the background, and you can have that. So right now you have blinds, but once you do that, you actually have a background for a card or an ATC. Here you have a plant. So I love doing this. It's just so fun, and you're like looking at things a little bit differently than you would have. So I also do it, you know, if you have craft magazines and things like that you want to cut up, you want to make sure you're careful when you're doing things like this if you're going to sell your item. But for me, if I'm just journaling at home, then I'm just looking around, and so I can repurpose some of the pictures inside of here. Here you can kind of just cut out that part of it right there and use it for a background. So really quick and easy way to see your backgrounds in a whole different way. It also works for, I have this whole pad of origami paper here, so it's a little bit thinner, but like this little pattern has a lot going on, and it's a page of bright, pretty colors. I think they're really pretty. But now if you look at it right here, look how pretty this looks. Just like that's what my card would look like. So I'd add just a little focal point, maybe a little quote on there, and that's really cute. So you can see things just differently than just looking at this whole page of all this color and it's so loud. Then you just put this down and you're like, oh, I have a picture that will go right here on top of that. So you see it differently, and then you think about what else you have and what you can add to that. So I think it's just really interesting just to be able to see things and how your mind looks at things differently. Love this. I would definitely try to cut several or two at least out of here. But oh yeah, I have the perfect focal point and have a little quote that would go in there, that type of thing. So that changes that from that. So here you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but I do know what I'm going to do with that. So I like to go through and do that as well. You can do it on scrapbook paper, just anything that you have. Junk mail, go through your junk mail and see if there's a character on there. So here's a big page, and it's all different directions. So however you turn it, something's going to be upside down. But if I was just making a tag or ATCs, I could come in here. I could even do it this direction. And then that's what you have, which is super cute. You could just go around. It's like, which part of this do I want for my tag? Oh, I want that part because that's really cute. So you see how it changes. You're looking this whole page and it's very busy. But if you hold it up here to Richard Turner, then all you have is an ATC and ink the edges. And am I in the camera? Sorry if I'm not. Ink the edges. You know, I wouldn't want to cover too much of this on here, but you certainly could if you had a one of the cutouts or the doll cutouts, or even in one of these magazines, you could cut out a person and put it on there, put a little quote on there. So it just changes your focus and takes out the busyness of the background. And you're able to cut out an ATC or a tag. I love to do it with tags because, you know, you can cut a piece of paper into a tag shape, but if it has a lot of design on it and you're making something smaller, let's see, which part of this do I want? So you can hold this on here. You know, like, do I like this blue flower? Do I like this red flower? You know, you can just hold it on here and cut out the part of this paper that you want. And that's just an example. I mean, of course, that's a beautiful page, so you might want to just use the whole thing, but you know, there's just things that you wouldn't think. Okay, look at the cover. So the cover has so many little tiles and has my ink that I've inked on top. But so what if I put this on here? So now I don't have a big busy piece of scrapbook paper or cover, but I have this really cute ATC background. So, and over here, if you turned it this way, look at that. Then you have lots of choices for ATC. You could turn it either which way. So I love this idea. It's very simple. You probably already knew, but if you didn't, when I learned it, it was just a lot of fun. And like I said, you can cut your own. And what I have are these templates to make envelopes, but I never used them, but they do make great templates for if I'm going to put something on a page. I can do the same thing. I can look through here and see which part of this I'm going to cut out, fold it in half, make a belly band, something like that. Here's a smaller one. If you are covering an envelope, well, which part of this would cover my envelope the best? So you can turn this and turn this until you have something that will cover your envelope and that you're happy with. And you can cut this yourself, whatever size you're looking for, and cut them out of a sturdy piece of cardboard from the cereal box, and then you have them to use over and over again. And again, here's a smaller envelope. So I'm going to cover an envelope, and this is the front. So, or I want to make an envelope, I could do that as well if you're making your own envelopes, but it's just a way to see a whole big busy piece of paper in a whole different light. So if you don't have any kind of template, and anything could work, like if you have let me see, if you have chipboard and you've taken the chipboard part out, you could definitely, if it's in a shape of a flower, you can move it around your page just to see if that's your flower shape. Well, which part of this would look really pretty? If it's a star, it's a moon, whatever your chipboard piece is, or whatever you cut out, you can look at it through different eyes when you put things like this down. So whatever your shape is and whatever you cut out, the same technique would work. And you'll be so surprised in your junk mail, in magazines that you get, your craft magazines, just you can go through there. There's so many colors and designs in there that if you take this and you walk through there, you would find so many great ideas. Like this cover, I'm so in love with this cover, but it's hard, so I don't know what I'm ever going to do with it, but I love it. I feel like I just want to frame it or something, but look how cute that is. So little things you might not notice if you're looking at this whole big busy page, but if you focus right here, so now we have a Christmas tree and a little fish. Here we have a little character over here. And so whatever your shape is, look at that. That's awesome. So wouldn't have maybe noticed her so much, sorry, with all of this going on. But now I'm walking around the page with my shape, whatever my template is. And for me, then look at that. That's an ATC just waiting to happen. Just put a little quote on there, ink the edges. I ink all the edges, so if that's not your style, of course, but I mean, just look at that. It's the perfect size. So I mean, there are times that I have cut out things and then it's like, oh my gosh, it doesn't even fit on my ATC. I didn't judge it right, that type of thing. But I mean, just for me, it's fascinating. You might not find it too fascinating, but I think it is the way your mind works and how you can just, like, if I could find that inside this book on paper, I definitely would make, and maybe it is, some ATCs out of that, or your Rolodex cards or that type of thing. So you see what a big difference it makes. Even when you're looking for writing for background, you can do the same thing. Just go through, see what fits. Like, can I use any of this? Yes, I can. I can use that part if I wanted to, you know, that type of thing. So maybe not that picture, but so here we have some camels with a couple. So I mean, that would be cute if you could put that here and then put maybe a quote over them, or these two together. That's really cute. These two together and have a little quote here about love or something snarky to go on here. So, I mean, I could show you this all night long because I love doing it so much. But, I mean, here's the one you could just have boots. So, just block out everything else. And then here I just want a snarky little comment. And then, you know, some sassy boots behind it and that type of thing. You could probably get photos in there if I turned it this way just right. So that's really cute. Here I have a little tree. So maybe it's a picture on the side of a photo booth, but if you block it out like that, you can't tell it. It looks like a whole room, and you could put something here beside it. Again, with the writings and the text that you want to have on there. So go through, cut out your templates, what you use the most of, and start with that. If you make tags a lot, use that and go around and see what a difference it makes looking at things just in a different light. So here, what if I just want this big price tag, and then I could put some kind of quote or something about that. So look at that guy, he'd be so cute. Any kind of anything. I mean, I don't even know. I could just, like I said, I could just show you forever. But anyway, so here's a page here. So we could turn it this way and we could just get Santa right here. And I mean, so many cute ideas. Look at this. This is adorable. This even gives you, like, if you put it just right, you could put the little quote up here or something like that. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I have a blast doing it, and it takes you from just looking at a page with a whole bunch of ideas on there to just now tell your mind that that's all that is, and that's going to be your ATC card or your tag. Just anything. Part of this house. So here's a cute little house, but if I'm never going to use the house, maybe I could just use a part of it or turn it, and then I just have a bunch of texture that I could use in the background with beautiful colors here. So that type of thing. So these are cute. This Neiman Marcus book is so fun. Just high dollar expensive gifts that you could actually order from them back in the day. These are really cute. So what if you did her face on one ATC and you did his face on one ATC, even though his doesn't fit perfect, but you could put a little quote here and make like a little set, little quote from the two of them on there. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. Like I said, it's not anything, you know, really hard, but it's very interesting to me to see how you can tell your brain, like, that's all I really want. I just want Santa on this ATC. Or here are these beautiful colors. Just want to grab those. Or just want to grab those. So I think it's really interesting. And I've said that to you 100 times already. So that's the idea. But cut out your template out of whatever size that you use most of the time. Sorry, my camera's shaking. And start with that, and you'll find yourself, I go around grabbing books and just like my little spyglass here, I just am looking for pictures and backgrounds, and it's also, you put it on there and you're like, oh my gosh, you get a whole different inspiration out of what you thought. Maybe you were going to do your ATC cards, make the set on one theme, and as you're looking around the house, you find something and it inspires you to make something else. So I hope that you try it. Just give it a little time and a little experiment and see what you come up with. And I bet you go out and make a bunch of templates after that, and you'll be like me. You'll be walking around the house looking for things that you can measure and see in a whole different light. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. Please stay safe and be well, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.